Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone. We are back and we're back to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. But before we do, I just have to say I am officially over 100 subscribers. Okay? Okay. I'm trying to be calm, right? And I'm trying to act like I got some sense. Okay? I'm trying to not act like I never had nothing, but I never had 100 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you who has subscribed. I want to say come on and join the party. To those of you who want to subscribe, I see you looking in the window like they over there talking and carrying on and subscribing and stuff. It looked like fun. Click subscribe. Just come on. Like, welcome. But let's just get into it, okay? Okay. So this episode kicks off with them having a comeback group meeting at Melody S. Holt Incorporated, which is formerly known as Holt and Holt Incorporated. Marsau arrives first, and Marsau and Mel are talking about the Clash of the Titans that happened at the Destiny race. She let him know she really enjoyed the race and that she was kind of taken aback at what happened between Miss Vanessa and Miss Wanda. And he, expressed that he was in complete agreement with her, that Miss Wanda was dead wrong. And so Mel is like, I totally agree with Marcel, but I'm kind of confused being that he was the one facilitating these same rumors last year. Everybody else starts to arrive. They get the meeting started and Kimmy starts to talk about basically dissolution of the comeback group. So Mel makes it very clear, well, I pulled out of the comeback group back in about 2019, so yeah, I'm just letting y'all use my building. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Marsau makes this comment about, well, you could pull out and still have a baby. Marsau, please shut the hell up. Mel goes, well, speaking of babies, Martel, where are the kids? Like, oh, okay, well, that was a hell of a segue, but okay. He says they're in your office, and she looks kind of shocked. So she goes and checks on her kids, and she comes back from checking on the kids and basically launches into a complete fight with Martell. So they're all sitting around the table, and Marsau is talking about how to proceed with the comeback group. That, maybe what we can do is, rather than trying to create a project, if somebody comes across a project, we can suggest it to the group, and everybody come together under that project to make it happen. And Mel says, well, yeah, that sounds good, but unfortunately, I won't be able to participate. And she directs that at Martel. So Marsau's like, well, what the hell is going on? Is there something going on that we don't know about? And Mel is like, well, he gave me a look. So, a look? Girl, you starting to look crazy. What do you mean he gave you a look? So you just went off in a business meeting. Martel's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, and she goes, let me tell you about the sneaky snake stuff that's going. It's like, sneaky snake? Well, and so everybody is genuinely confused. So she goes to drop her bomb that she has, which is that she has talked to Chris. She knows that Martel and Marsau are looking to pair up and work on the 47 acres, and that they were laughing and joking about her not being able to do that. Baby, this didn't give what you thought it was giving. This was not the bombshell that you thought it was. It's just not, and now y'all look crazy again. Mel starts making a speech about, how she would like to proceed with what her decision was in 2019, which is basically to withdraw from the comeback group. And as she's saying that, Martel says, what, your decision to neglect the kids? Just now the meeting is going straight to hell. It's got a one-way ticket to hell. Martel drops his bomb, gets up, walks out, says he's going to get the kids and he's leaving. He goes into her office mad, grabs the kids, and they go stomping out, and all you hear is little boss baby say, Dad, that was quick. Your meeting was over quick. Basically, what the hell is going on? Why is we stomping out here so fast? I don't know how much time passed, but it seems like minutes later, Martel is calling Mel, and she's in the middle of giving this speech to the rest of the comeback group about how Martel is a terrible person. I don't know why y'all want to do business with him. And, Marsau is telling her, well, listen, yeah, y'all have y'all's issues, but he's a decent business person when y'all behave. So as they're having this whole, I don't know why y'all do business with Martel meeting that this has turned into, Martel calls Mel and says, I need your help with Mariah because she's crying really bad. When I tell you, when he pulled up with this child, sobbing from her soul in this car, I broke down. I just cried. And, and Mel mentioned it later on in the episode, but energy is a big deal. Kids feel what's going on in their parents, between their parents. Kids feel that stuff. And kids don't know what to do with that stuff. They don't know how to process that stuff. And Martel, gets in the confessional and he says that all he could really get out of her is that, well, that the office used to be you and mommy's office, and now it's just mommy's office. And the tone in which he said it is like the child has a problem with it not being, you have a problem with it not being a joint office. The point that the child is trying to make is the division she feels. Now, when y'all were coming there for a simple business meeting, and when this has exploded into yelling and custody threats, kids can hear. They're not these deaf, dumb, blind little beings that become people when they turn 18. Like, they can hear, they can feel, they can see, they experience, they felt all of that. And what is a 9-year-old to do with this? When I tell you it's enough for a child to try to rationalize what is going on in their life when their family is breaking down, that's enough. When you start to talk about people threatening each other and all this negative energy and just this brew of emotional violence, it's hard enough for a child. And then to add cameras to that, to add people want to be famous and they don't care what it costs to that. Like, at no point could it be worth seeing this child hurt like this. It just can't be worth it. And so when Mel got up from the table, when Martel got back with their baby and said, y'all, that's a wrap, I gotta go. Yeah, you're right, it's a wrap. This needs to be a wrap in terms of exposing these kids' experience on this show. Period. And the fact that even after the baby had been, Mel took her in the office and talked to her privately. Thank God they didn't show any of that. But to have the camera in her face after she has just, finished crying and dealing with what she's dealing with, it's too much. It's too much for a child. It's too much. And if seeing this child break down like that ain't enough to make y'all say, we gotta grow up, I don't know what is. While Mel is talking to their daughter, the rest of the group is outside talking to Martel. And Marsau says to Martel what I have said in many a review. You have got to stop this because this is bigger than you and Mel. This is a lifelong battle. This is about your children. And the things you are doing right now, you are going to be explaining yourself for in 20 years. So you could either do the right thing now or you could pay the price later. Period. Moving on. So the next stop is Maurice and Marsau go to practice tennis in case they ever get challenged to a tennis battle. All right then. Well, they use this opportunity to talk about what happened at the comeback group meeting. And Marsau basically says, as long as they are in this state, I will never do business with them because this is out of control. Nobody wants to deal with it. You will not embarrass me and you will not tarnish my brand, period, point, and the blank. And what is there to talk about? They carry on and they talk about the fact that Maurice and Martel saw Dr. Francis. And so Marsau's like, how'd that go? Maurice is like, listen, he told me some life-changing stuff. You know, he basically pointed out that I have two wives between my career and my wife, that I have two wives. And Marcel is like, that's a reach. Well, here's the thing. The reason that Marsau is so dead set on making sure that nobody believes Dr. Francis knows what he's talking about is because he can't hit the nail on the head with Martel and then hit the nail on the head with Maurice and then he say, oh, he just don't know what he's talking about when it comes to me. Well, if he knows what he's talking about in all the other situations, maybe he know what he's talking about you too. Moving on. So the ladies get together just to kind of kick it and hang out, and they're meeting up at Scott's Emporium, which I guess is Kimmy and Maurice's office compound. I don't know. So they're having drinks and talking and, you know, just all kind of hanging out, and they start to rehash the comeback group meeting. Well, Kimmy asks, you know, well, how are the kids? Has Martel had the kids since the meeting? Yeah, because it's his week. She asks, how's Mariah? And she said, oh, she's good. And she goes into explaining that, you know, I think what happened is that when Martel went stomping off angry and went in the room and just grabbed them and, you know, and took them and left, I think she felt that energy. She felt, you know, him being angry on top of the fact that I had just come in there and said, I'm going to come see y'all before y'all leave. And now she didn't get to see me. And he, you know, he just kind of grabbed her and left rather than saying, y'all go in there and tell your mom bye because we're getting ready to go. Right? And that's very true. Now, do I feel like Mel needs to take accountability for her part as well in terms of picking the fight that led to this explosion? Yes. However, is she right about why I think the child broke down? Yes. So Kimmy asks, when you and Martel have these moments, when y'all have these explosions, what can we do to help y'all? What is our role in these disagreements and these kinds of moments? In other words, why do y'all keep doing this shit in front of us? What do y'all expect us to do? Because it is quite awkward and quite uncomfortable when y'all get to hurling personal insults and court-level threats at each other when we just came together to have drinks, dinner, or a damn meeting. So what is it that y'all would like us to do that y'all keep doing this in front of us? And Mel's response is, y'all cannot have us in the same room. And, you know, my mom actually made a good point. We were talking about, I was kind of just not understand. Why don't these people just, this is just, I don't get it. Why they fight every chance they get. And my mom said, well, you know what? It's not normal for exes to be in each other's face that much. And I thought about it. That's the truth. The fact that they're in each other's faces, they're at all the same events, they're socializing together while they are dealing with the fallout of infidelity, divorce, outside children. Yeah, it's too much. And so, yeah, they need to not be in the same spaces. Like, they're going to do nothing but explode. So, you know, yeah, Mel says, don't have us in the same room. Here's where she lost me. When she said, you know, I always come in trying to be positive. I don't want a problem. And he always does the same thing. He starts throwing jabs and I'll let the first one slide. And then, but that ain't what always happens. I feel where you're coming from, but that's not what always happens. But I think she's right. I think the very best resolution is to stop inviting them to the same events. And so Kimmy's response is, well, you know, in the past, we would normally ask you, are you okay with him being there? She said, so are you saying in the future you would just, if there's something we're thinking about inviting the both of you to, just don't invite you? Now that, I don't think she really expected. I think her intent was, don't invite Martel. But, you know, basically Kimmy is like, okay, well, if there's an issue, we just won't invite you since we know that you are expressing you don't want to be in the same room. And Mel goes, that would be great. And that actually would. Honestly, I think it would be good for Mel to really develop her social circle outside of this circle. Because no matter what, this circle will always trace back to Martell and her marriage. It will always have that residue on it. So I think it would be good to back up out of their social things, because there are a bunch of couples. There are a bunch of couples that you did things with as, a married couple, and go start to rebuild your social network. And live. Have a good time. Ain't nobody got time to be mixed up in that drama. Yeah, don't invite me. So then Kimmy and Tasha get into hashing their drama out. Now, I'm going to tell you, I still don't understand what Kimmy's issue or Kimmy's point is. However, this is what I will say. Kimmy, gets to carrying on about how she didn't like being in this group text about being asked for sponsorship. And so Mel, who also does not understand, is like, are you bothered by the fact that, it wasn't just me, you, and Tasha on it, because maybe Tiffany and Destiny were on it? Is that the issue? And she's like, well, no, and she gives this explanation that I cannot even, when she really had no real answer for what her issue was, she started to make it about Tasha's tone and the way she was asking. And Tasha's like, but I didn't ask with an attitude, and all I did was send a text message. And when you said, oh, you signed up to volunteer, all I said was I was talking about the sponsorships. So now, and see, let me tell you something. This is an Aquarius trait. I'm an Aquarius, and I tell you, I'm an equal opportunity reader. I will read us too. This is an Aquarius trait. Sometimes when we wrong and we don't know how to say we wrong, we don't know how to take our teeth out of that thing we done sunk our teeth into. And so rather than Kimmy say, maybe I jumped the gun, maybe I made assumptions that are wrong, maybe I took something personal that shouldn't have been taken personal. Rather than her say that, she just keeps grasping at straws to justify why she has an issue with Tasha. And so she starts going into, well, I think I deserve more than a text with all the checks we've written to Scott 1.0 and all the things y'all have done. And Tasha's like, but we both support each other. But the checks that we write don't compare to the Excuse me? I could see if it was a situation where I support you more in general than you support me. You don't come to my events. You don't celebrate me. Things of that nature. But when you support what I do and I support what you do, and I want to start to keep a tab on the dollar amount and do that in a comparative nature to tell you basically you owe me kissing my ass because I've written a certain amount of checks. No. Kimmy, you're coming out of your bag and you're showing your colors and they're not pretty. You don't go telling folk, basically, I done wrote so many checks, you owed me that respect. Hold on. You don't buy me. And just like you can't buy me and you can't buy my respect, you can't buy the right to disrespect me. Okay? Kimmy, as far as I'm concerned, is totally out of line and low-key exposed. I wouldn't want another check from her. There is nothing you could do for me because there's nothing genuine about it. You can keep it. Give it to the Goodwill because they will actually give you a receipt and you'll be able to claim it on your taxes since claiming is what you want to do. But eventually, Kimmy comes around and she makes it about, well, basically, maybe it was a timing issue because we were having an issue. And so, we're just going to chalk it up to kind of like the Tiffany thing, that it was a problem with timing. And that had it been done, in different timing, it might have been received differently. So you just ain't going to say you was wrong. The same way that Tasha checked out at the end of that conversation and was just staring at the ground. That was me. I was done. Moving on. So we get to the final stop of the episode, which is Martel and Fred working on a property, okay? Fred is fine. But anyway, you have Martel and Fred at this property that they're working on. They've gone through a bunch of demo and they're getting ready to start building things back up. Now, number one, I can tell you, Martel don't be at that site working like that because he out there in church shoes. That's the first thing I saw. Where is your boots? Okay, with your, I know what I'm doing, I know how to build a house self. Why is you out there in your second Sunday deacon board shoes? Tell me why. Just kicking up all the damn dust. Lord Jesus. So they get to having a conversation, and Fred starts to ask Martel, has he been studying and working on, getting his builder's license? And this, Martel said, well, I got motivated one night when I had them 4 kids, and I went and opened the book and started kind of looking, but Fred said one night. What? So what happened was, you had your kids one night, you were sick of the kids, and the only escape you could find was to go study. But then you went to study, and you just didn't want to be bothered with that. Oh, okay. So then he starts saying, well, I'm also not good with tests. And so Fred is like, well, what software are you using? He said, I'm just using the books. He said, no, man, that's part of the problem. He said, I have this really good software that you can use that's going to help you study the material, learn the material so that you can pass the test. And Martel still is making excuses about, no, I got other things that are more priority to me right now. That's just not my priority. And not that I'm on your back, but, you got the license, so I'm not really that worried about it because we business partners. Well, damn. You the type you could bust upside the head with a sock full of rocks and you'll walk right back up to the same clown that did it. Did you not learn from what just happened? Your whole life just fell apart and you couldn't go get a permit if you wanted to because you don't have a builder's license. And you will stand in this man's face, whose license you are riding the back of, and say, I don't really need to go get one. It really ain't no priority, because I got yours and I got other things going. You would get your ass off my license. Oh, no. You think you gonna ride me for life? I was trying to help you, but you don't even want to help yourself. You just ain't gonna go get a license. You don't want nothing. I wouldn't feel bad for you. If Fred got up tomorrow and said, yeah, man, this ain't working for me no more. And so as they're talking, Mel calls him. And Mel is like, listen, where are you? Because I'd like to stop by and have a face-to-face conversation. And he's like, well, what is it about? Is it about the kids? I mean, it must be important. And she's like, yeah, it's important. So he gives her his location, apparently, and she stops by. So Fred looks like, okay, what the hell is going on? This why he about to get his ass off my license right now, because I don't bring drama to my job sites now. So he said, Martel, the Range Rover pulling up, like, please help. Martel goes, oh yeah, let me walk over here and see what she talking about, before she run over here. I don't want you to hear what she talking about anyway. So Mel pulls up, gets out and starts talking to Martel and says, I would like to have a conversation about boundaries. Now, my initial reaction is this heifer must be crazy. She did not show up to the man's job site to say, I want to have a conversation about boundaries. The first thought I had was, what in the oxymoron hell is she talking about? That you want to have a conversation at his job site about boundaries, like that's just messed up on a whole bunch of levels. Until she kept talking. She mentioned that she had gone to a restaurant with a man. I don't know if it's a man she's dating. I don't know if it's the man that makes her wigs. I don't know if it's a costume designer, a music producer. We just know it is a male individual. She went to dinner with a male individual, and Martel Holt showed up at the restaurant. Not only did Martel Holt show up at the restaurant, Martel Holt is taking pictures of her and her date in the, or whoever this male individual is in the restaurant, and he has absolutely no qualms about it. And he actually even defends it about, well, you do whatever you want to do on social media, and like, just like when it was me and I had a baby and you went to social media and said whatever you wanted to say. So, I mean, I'd rather do my stuff in person in your face rather than hide behind a computer. What in the I ain't sane hell are you talking about? What? So, I'm gonna stalk you because I just feel like that's more honorable than arguing with you on social media. And then he goes on to say, and I told you I was coming. First of all, Mel, I don't know why you told this man you were going on a date and told him where you were going. Like, you know he's crazy. You wanted the drama. Now, Martel goes, you know what, I told you, you know, I was coming. She said, no, you said I'll be there. That's crazy for I'm going to show up wherever the hell you going to be at. So why would you tell crazy this is where I'm going to be with my date so you can come do your thing? Just come crazy all over the place. You know it turns me on. Like the fuck, y'all. Then Mel goes on to say, you were supposed to be in a business meeting. You actually left a business meeting to come stalk me. You probably cut the meeting short to come stalk me. And Martel says, and? Like, he is at the height of his crazy right now. He said, and? Ain't no big deal. What difference it make? Like, so? And she's like, but it does make a difference. This could have been a business deal. This could have been money. And you decided that stalking me, your ex-wife, was more important. And Martel says, still don't get your point. I'm just like, Mel is like, this is the issue with restoring your business reputation. How can you restore your business reputation when you are self-sabotaging all the time? It's so toxic and dysfunctional. Lord, I hope y'all get the help y'all need. Truly. Martel pulls out his phone. He's pulling up his screenshots and his videos. And Mel is talking about, yeah, that's why when I was leaving the restaurant, you calling me about you gonna be my wife again. He goes into denying that. Of course he said that in the middle of stalking. Yeah, Martel, stop. Okay, just stop. You were in the middle of your stalking activities and you will be my wife again. Just shut up. He, of course, denies that I never said that, this, that, and the third. And the episode ends with them standing in this demolished yard, yelling back and forth and carrying on. And Fred just finished saying, you don't want the neighbors to know your name. Well, the neighbors know your name now, and they ain't found out the way you wanted them to find out. Okay? Okay. And so Martel asks, how are you going to take another man to our favorite restaurant? Martel, maybe they should have done this for you when y'all got y'all's divorce. Maybe they should have listed that part of what was dissolving, what there was a dissolution of, is anything related to y'all's social life. Y'all no longer have a favorite restaurant. Y'all no longer have a song. Y'all no longer have a marriage. Y'all, like, you are going to have to grab whatever little pieces of sanity you got. We're going to have to season them up and try to make them into something, okay? And pull it together because this is out of control. The stalking and following, like, that stuff is next level. This is all getting out of hand, and I can't really take much more, okay? So the episode comes to an end with them yelling and screaming in this yard that don't even belong to them. Mel says, listen, you know, don't worry about who I take where because I'm single. You weren't worried about it when you were married, taking whoever you wanted to wherever you wanted. So don't worry about me and what I do as a single woman. The crazy is at a new low, and I can't take no more. That's where the episode came to the end. Child, we see that next week the drama continues, okay? Marsau is going to be taking Tasha to money counseling because he's tired of her shopping. Now, you don't believe in therapy when it comes to you, but you believe in therapy when it comes to her. I can't. I just can't. We'll get into all that next week. But thank you so much for stopping by, for letting me get it off my chest. Make sure, if you are not in that 100 some odd count, you know, Make sure to like the video, share the channel with somebody, comment, subscribe. As always, love you, mean it. Bye.